Exclusive contracted novel by Feilu Novel Network. National Awakening. Do you call this an auxiliary series? Su Chen traveled to the parallel world of National Awakening and awakened the divine level talent of the plant system. Life Leap, which can continuously improve the life level of the plant system. With Su Chen, the plant system that has always been known as an auxiliary has lightNovice level sapling awakening level Revival Tree Totem level life tree. Novice level spike vine extraordinary level Hundred Hand Vine Overlord level 10,000 Moyun Vines. Awakening level Dream Forgetting Lotus Overlord level Soul Crossing Lotus Divine level Holy Eternal Lotus. Wori. Why can his tree turn into a tree man and run around? That's outrageous. The army of exotic beasts was strangled by an entire forest. What's going on with that beautiful lotus girl who kills all directions? Are you sure you're cultivating plants, not exotic beasts? On the battlefield of thousands of tribes, countless awakened beings exclaimed in surprise. Su Chen. The secret of assistance is to kill all the enemies, so that no one will suffer. Feilu Novel Network reminds you that this novel and its characters are purely fictional. If there are any similarities, they are purely coincidental and should not be imitated. 001 Awakening Dual Talents. Begging for Flowers. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The Great Qin Empire, the first academic institution in Xianyang. In the spacious school square. A group of energetic students lined up in an orderly manner under the guidance of their mentor. Although there are tens of thousands of people on Shuefu Square, it is very quiet. Because today, it is quite important for many students. It can even be said that this is the moment that determines their future destiny. If one can awaken a good talent, it is not impossible to become a marquis or king in the future. But if the awakening talent is too poor, it's difficult to support a family. Although everyone is currently studying at the same school, their future status will be vastly different. Su Chen remained silent and followed the long dragon-like team slowly forward. As a traveler, he looks forward to this moment more than other students. My own golden finger should also appear, right? He has been traveling here for several years now, and his golden fingers haven't even blistered, which is a bit hard to justify. Su Chen looked around with a hint of emotion in his eyes. There is a significant difference between this parallel world and the blue star. The blue star he is on has a vast and boundless area, with a volume estimated to be more than 10 times that of Earth. The vast living area provides a broad stage for humans to showcase their skills. The Great Qin Empire is one of the top empires of this blue star. The Ying family produced many wise rulers, leading the rise of the Great Qin from the end of the Wei dynasty, and ultimately building a vast empire spanning thousands of miles. Just Xianyang County today is probably as big as a province in Dixing. On the blue star, besides humans, there are countless exotic beasts. It can be said that humans can be so powerful today. Thanks to the several extinction crises brought to humanity by the exotic beasts. The confrontation between humans and exotic beasts is far from over. It is also during several crises that humans have emerged in large numbers of awakeners. These awakened beings possess combat power far beyond that of ordinary humans. With the continuous improvement of their strength, their life levels have all evolved. Being able to gain stronger strength and a longer lifespan. These awakened individuals can be classified into beginner, intermediate, advanced, excellent, awakened, extraordinary, king, hegemon, totem, and so on. Each level is further divided into 9 levels. For example, the founder of the Great Qin Empire, Emperor Shi. He is a awakened member of the beast type, reaching the level of a terrifying totem. The monster being controlled is a mysterious bird that is also at the totem level. It was precisely through absolute force and a strong army that the Great Qin was able to rise step by step. According to different awakening talents, awakeners are also divided into different systems. The elemental system can stimulate the power of various elements, such as flames, ice and snow, strong winds, and even thunder. Martial arts, with increased physical strength and faster progress, can learn various martial arts combat techniques, enhance chi, blood, and physical strength. The Imperial Beast System can control various exotic beasts for its own use. Among all talent types, the Element System is a type that all students want to awaken. Because anyone who awakens to the Elemental System will surely reach the extraordinary level. This is equivalent to obtaining an admission ticket to a higher level. From the history of those awakened in the past, people who have comprehended the Element System will achieve great success in the future. Because of their innate affinity for elements, it is easier for them to understand the rules. Other genres can naturally become extraordinary, kings, and overlords, but the difficulty is much higher than that of elemental genres. I have to be an element system no matter what, right? Su Chen rubbed her chin and muttered inwardly. I, as a traveler, have always been the son of luck and the darling of heaven and earth. It's not justifiable not to awaken a talent that is amazing. Elemental system. Someone has awakened their elemental talent. It seems like the flame element with strong combat power. Just as Su Chen was lost in thought, a commotion suddenly came from around. Flame element system. Su Chen suddenly regained consciousness and looked ahead. Just thinking about awakening the elemental system, did someone awaken? Damn it, someone is stealing my luck. Su Chen cast his gaze towards the grand gate of awakening ahead. I saw a young girl with a delicate face standing under a huge door, nervous and at a loss. She clearly didn't expect to awaken her elemental talent either. I didn't know for a moment whether to get excited or panicked. The teachers around rushed over as soon as they saw the awakening results. The teacher responsible for awakening and the teaching director all gathered around the little girl with a solemn expression. The school's security level has been adjusted to level 1. Suspend the awakening work of subsequent students in this line. Report the news to the headquarters of the university. Bring her family to the school and wait for someone from headquarters to provide protection. The vice principal's face turned red, suppressing his excitement and nervousness as he quickly directed to the teacher beside him. The awakening of the elemental system is unparalleled. Every awakened element that can ascend normally is a precious treasure of Daqin in the future. Whether it is the monster transformer or the enemy of the empire, this type of awakener will be listed as the best assassination target. So it's not surprising that the vice principal is so cautious. Whenever this girl has an accident at school today, it's not just him, the vice principal, who doesn't need to do it anymore. All teachers in the entire school are subject to the relevant department's suspension of review. All sponsors and recommenders in one's career must undergo strict scrutiny. The Great Qin ruled the world not only through powerful military force. There are also extremely strict systems. Once it is discovered that someone has defected to the enemy and betrayed the country, the outcome can be quite tragic. If the crime is serious, even the 3 tribes will be executed. Therefore, when this girl awakened her elemental talent, many teachers not only did not show a smile on their faces, but their faces became even more serious. Protected well, greatly meritorious. If something goes wrong, their career is considered over. The originally quiet Shuefu Square became noisy due to the sudden appearance of the awakened element system. The classmates around Su Chen were whispering, their faces full of envy. Grasp the grass, today someone really can awaken the elemental system. I envy her. She will definitely be a key target of military training in the future, and she won't run away from the extraordinary level. I am willing to exchange my 20-year lifespan for a Awakening Element series. You might as well exchange 10 centimeters. Listening to the discussions around, Su Chen's heart inexplicably became a bit nervous. In the Great Qin Empire or wherever it was, strength was paramount. People with good talent have higher upper and lower limits. If it were trash talent, it would be destined to only be ordinary for a lifetime. Not to mention being marquised, it's difficult to support a family. The pressure of life in Daqin is no weaker than the previous Earth star. Seeing that girl awaken to the element system, Su Chen felt both nervous and hopeful in her heart. Since everyone else can awaken the elemental system, shouldn't it be difficult for me? But what if it's not? Su Chen took a deep breath and tried to keep her mood calm. There's nothing just in case. I, Su Chen, am the son of fate. Silence. A deep roar, transformed into sound waves, wreaked havoc in the Shuefu square. The once bustling square suddenly fell silent. The martial arts teacher nodded lightly, clearly satisfied with the power of his lion roar technique. The military personnel quickly arrived at the school. The girl who awakened to the elemental system, under the protection of many military personnel, left the school. If nothing unexpected happens, many people may never see her again. Because this departure represents that she and most people will be in two different worlds in the future. Afterwards, the awakening work resumed normal and the team began to move forward. After more than an hour, it was Su Chen's turn to come to this huge gate of awakening. Class 3, Su Chen, right. The teacher responsible for awakening work confirmed with Su Chen expressionlessly. The teacher nodded lightly and signaled that Su Chen could enter. Su Chen took a deep breath and then walked into the grand gate of awakening. A strange force swept across his entire body in an instant. Immediately, the door shimmered with a sparkling dark green color. A vast sound also echoed in Su Chen's mind. You have awakened the E.level botanical talent. The growth of all things. Upon hearing these words, Su Chen's body suddenly stiffened. But before he could see a look of disappointment on his face, that voice rang out again. You have awakened your divine talent. Life Leap. P.S. New book upload, flowers and evaluation ticket support are required. Welcome to leave a message in the comment area, and ensure the update of awesome. 002 Divine Level Talent Life Leap, Su Chen's. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Awakening teacher glanced at the color of the door and then scanned the text displayed on the other side of the door. Jinling Academy, Class 3, Su Chen. Awakening Talent Type. Botanical. Talent Level. E.level. Talent Name. All Things Grow. Note. None. Teacher Awakening silently recorded information about Su Chen's talent in the student profile. Then he spoke to Su Chen in a tone of neither sadness nor joy. You can go back to the classroom now. Next. When Su Chen walked down the gate of awakening, her brain was still in a state of confusion, even walking was drifting. The amount of information is too large for him to digest at once. I did not awaken the elemental system myself, but instead became the weakest awakened plant system. Forget the awakening plant system, the talent level is still so low. Talent levels can be divided into E to SSS levels. And the growth of all things he awakens belongs to the E.level talent. Su Chen said she couldn't accept it. But while awakening the growth of all things, he also awakened a second talent. The leap of life. I am actually a dual talent awakener. The probability of awakening dual talents is not without it, it can only be said to be very, very low. Even on this blue star with billions of people, those who have awakened dual talents in history can count with just one hand. And my second talent is actually a divine level talent that surpasses the SSS level. The entire Qin Empire, or rather the entire blue star, has never awakened a divine level talent. At least never in various records. And surprisingly, I became the lucky one to awaken my divine level talent. The simultaneous arrival of hell and heaven made Su Chen feel a bit overwhelmed. Brain crashes on the spot. Do I have hell on my left and heaven on my right? Su Chen returned to the classroom in a daze and sat down in her seat. It took a long time to react from the shock of dual talents and divine level talents. After calming down, Su Chen's forehead immediately burst into countless cold sweats. The awakening of one's divine-level talent never easily reveal it when you are weak. Otherwise, he will face an infinite assassination. Every year after awakening their talents, many high-level gifted students are found dead in a dirty sewer. Su Chen doesn't seem to be a corpse in the sewer. Dual talents are currently his best cover, secretly utilizing divine-level talents to quickly rise up. By the time others realized something was wrong, I already had enough self-protection power. Su Chen took a deep breath. At this moment, he began to explore his innate abilities. Plant system. Growth of all things. Can consume internal energy and accelerate the growth process of planted plants. E-level talent, is that all that's left? What else can I expect from it? There was no loss on Su Chen's face. The so-called force is equivalent to the true chi in martial arts novels and the spiritual power in cultivation novels. The ones with greater demand for the force are the elemental awakeners and martial awakeners. I haven't heard of any plant species that lack the force among awakened beings. Su Chen suppressed her excitement and explored her second talent. Divine-level talent. Life leap. Can consume the force, achieve a leap in plant life levels, and elevate the level of life genes. Su Chen showed a skeptical expression. Is this innate ability equivalent to evolution? Similar to Snowball Beast, Milo Beast, Puppy Beast, Dilu Beast, Heavenly Maiden Beast. The only difference is, in the manga, it's about advanced digital beasts, while I'm about evolving plants myself. Su Chen's originally excited heart calmed down slightly. No matter how strong the plant is, how strong it can be, Su Chen's heart suddenly became a bit uncertain. We still need to find an opportunity to try how strong our talent is. During Su Chen's contemplation, the homeroom teacher walked in from outside the classroom. He scanned the crowd with his sharp gaze and then spoke in a deep voice. Your talents have all awakened, right? But no matter what talent you awaken, don't be proud or discouraged, because your path has just begun. Having good talents does not necessarily mean that you will achieve great success in the future, and vice versa. The most important thing is still to see the awakener himself. The homeroom teacher eloquently explained a wide range of principles. The students who have awakened their low-level talents feel no better in their hearts. After all, the importance of talent has been proven in the history of the awakened. Indeed, there are also low-level awakened talents who step by step reach the level of extraordinary and king. But it's very rare. The quantity is even less than those SSS-level talents. Using survivor bias to deceive others, homeroom teacher, you are too bad. The homeroom teacher clearly knew that her words were not very effective, so she went straight to the topic and said. Starting today, you will be reassigned according to your talent type, and I will no longer serve as your homeroom teacher. I will distribute the list of class assignments immediately. I hope that in your future learning career, everyone can work hard and strive forward. Class is over. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a chance to meet again. The homeroom teacher is also a free-spirited person, and after speaking, he sent down the list in his hand. Then he stepped out of the classroom. Su Chen took a look at the list of assigned classes. I was assigned to the 9th class of the botanical department. It was like a tug of war. The area of Xianyang Third University is still quite large. The main responsibility here is to cultivate a large number of talents for the future of the empire. There are pre-school departments in the entire university, which is the department where Su Chen is currently staying. And according to the type of talent, it is divided into elemental departments, martial arts departments, veterinary departments, botanical departments, and so on. Each student will go to their respective department for further learning and cultivation. Only those who meet the assessment criteria or have special arrangements are eligible for graduation. Otherwise, even if you enter the front line or battlefield, you are still looking for death. Their task at school today is to awaken their talents. Now that they have awakened, they can finish school. The students left the classroom with different emotions. Su Chen also left the classroom and came to the single dormitory provided by the school for orphans. In terms of welfare, the Great Qin Empire still has nothing to say, it is very humane. Su Chen walked straight into the dormitory area and walked into her small dormitory with familiarity. The area of a single-person dormitory is not large, less than 10 square meters. But for Su Chen alone, it must be enough to stay. Su Chen walked to the bathroom and took a handful of cold water to wash her face, calming herself down. He looked at himself in the mirror and was momentarily distracted. Dual talent. Divine level talent. I shouldn't be dreaming myself. Su Chen thought to herself and really reached out to pinch her own egg. The pain is so intense that it explodes. He just came to his senses. Try your innate abilities. Su Chen couldn't wait to test the strength of the life jump. Although it is a natural talent in the botanical field. But it's also a divine talent. Even if it's weak, where can it go? Su Chen looked around and couldn't find a single plant in the dormitory. Finally, he turned his gaze to the cactus next to the computer. I bought this cactus to prevent radiation. This is the only plant in his dormitory. Mainly, Su Chen didn't expect to awaken her natural talent in the plant system. So I didn't prepare in advance. Anyway, it's also a test of the water, why not give this cactus a try first? Su Chen walked step by step to the front of the computer desk with a sinister smile. After becoming a plant awakener, Su Chen was able to see the basic information of these plants. Plant. Cactus. Bloodline. No entry. Growth. Maturity. Status. Feeling lethargic. Ability. Spike and purify air. Special ability. None. Both plants and exotic beasts have bloodline restrictions, consistent with the level of awakeners. This cactus plant was bought by Su Chen at Pingxi Shi Jiu Jiu Bao Mail, it's so ordinary that it can't be any more ordinary. Su Chen slowly placed his hand above the cactus. Life leaps. His palm gradually emitted a light green light, completely enveloping the cactus. Upgrading the life level of cactus. Upgrade from non-mainstream to beginner-level bloodline. But before the leap of life was over, Su Chen fainted in a daze. P.S. New book upload, flowers and evaluation ticket support are required, welcome to leave a message in the comment area, and ensure the update of awesome. 003 Life Lineage Enhancement, in the eyes of classmates. You are listening at novelfull.audio. When Su Chen opened her eyes again, she found that it was already dark outside. He rubbed his eyes and immediately thought of something, suddenly looking at the cactus next to the computer desk. The cactus, originally only the size of a fist, has grown several times in size. The sharp spikes also became more and more resilient, shining with a frightening cold light. The information about the new cactus also unfolded before Su Chen's eyes. Plant. Cactus. Bloodline. Beginner level 1. Growth. Maturity period. Status. Good. Ability. Spikes, shoot the spikes on the body, causing minor damage. Special ability. None. Novice level 1. Seeing the increase in the bloodline of the cactus, Su Chen's eyes suddenly burst into ecstasy. My own abilities can indeed enhance the bloodline of plants. Su Chen's heart was immediately filled with excitement. As is well known, the reason why the botanical lords are not strong is because they have a serious flaw. It is difficult to find plants with high bloodline levels for cultivation. Elemental and martial awakeners can strengthen their overall force by absorbing source crystals, thereby continuously improving their combat power. Even the Imperial Beast series can enhance their combat power by subduing powerful exotic beasts. The awakening of the plant system is very awkward. The current high-blooded plants of Blue Star are pitifully scarce, and their combat abilities are also very weak. Various scientific research institutions have invested a lot of funds and energy to artificially cultivate high-blooded plants as much as possible, hoping to create a bright future for the awakening of plant families. Unfortunately, the effect is very weak. The future of the botanical lords remains dark. It is precisely for these two reasons that plant systems have become the auxiliary systems passed down by word of mouth. The vast majority of plant awakeners utilize their talents to become diligent gardeners. Either they become awakeners of other systems and cultivate medicinal herbs. Either use your talents for battlefield assistance work. Few plant awakeners fight alone. Firstly, how do you carry your own plants? A tree weighing hundreds of tons, is it difficult to carry it to the battlefield? What should awakened plant-based beings do when they can still ride exotic beasts around? You can just carry flowers and plants with you. You can't carry cacti around, can you? Maybe I'll run into a few troublemakers on the way to pick you up. Secondly, there are not many plants that can be used for combat, and most of them can only be used for targeted combat. Thirdly, the growth cycle of plants is quite long. The lifespan of an ordinary person is only a few decades, but some plants only enter their growth period after a few decades. So there has always been a saying among those who awaken their botanical lineage that after planting trees, people can enjoy the cool. A high-blooded plant has been sent away for several generations without any problem. The combination of these factors has led to the overall weak combat power of the awakeners of the plant system. It can even be said that there is no combat power. Often, only in certain specific situations will botanical lords be used. And Su Chen, who possesses the divine talent of life jump, has already solved the biggest problem. Plant bloodline is not high, and combat power is not strong. This is the root cause of the awakening of the plant system to become the last. Other awakened plants cannot change, but Su Chen can use his talent to continuously improve the bloodline of the plants he cultivates. This bloodline has gone up, can we not be strong in combat? As for how to carry plants, it is indeed a problem. But it's not a big problem. The awakeners of the spatial element system have the ability to create spatial rings. If you save some money, you can get it with a little thought. Two problems were immediately solved with ease. Who said that the awakened members of the plant system can only serve as assistants? Su Chen clenched her fist. From now on, it will be up to him to redefine the awakening of the plant system. Su Chen looked at the cactus in front of the computer desk and liked it more and more. As for the fact that he fainted just now, Su Chen was not surprised. Because he hasn't even reached beginner level now, and he doesn't have much force in his body. The use of life leap definitely requires a significant amount of force consumption. Is it necessary for him to faint as he lacks the force in his body? Although this will recover. But Su Chen still had a weak feeling of being drained all over her body. This point. After entering the botanical department to learn courses related to the force, effective improvement can be achieved. The next day, Su Chen hummed a popular song from her past life and arrived at her newly assigned class. He casually found a seat to sit down and waited for the teacher's arrival. Da-da-da, a crisp sound of high heels stomping on the floor echoed in Su Chen's ears. A few seconds later, a beautiful shadow slowly walked into the classroom and onto the podium. Hello classmates, I am your new homeroom teacher, Pei Qinghua. The young and beautiful female teacher walked onto the podium and introduced herself to everyone with a smile. Pei Qin painted a delicate and flawless face, dressed in a well-cut black uniform with a white shirt underneath. Adding high heels makes the whole person look taller. A pair of jade legs are fair and slender, with a crispy and full chest. The buttocks-wrapped skirt is tightly attached to the body, outlining an incredibly tempting curve that makes people daydream endlessly. Many male classmates lifted their heads and looked at Pei Qing's painting. These male classmates, who were extremely frustrated by their awakening talents, finally had a glimmer of light in their eyes. Su Chen's face was also somewhat surprised. Such a beautiful female teacher. However, suddenly, Su Chen thought of a rumor he had heard before. I heard that the female teachers in the botanical department are all very beautiful. Because any student who awakens their natural talent in the field of botany is in a very low mood. So the hospital intends to arrange beautiful female teachers to teach in the botanical department. I want to soothe the hearts of those underprivileged students in this way. Su Chen looked at the long legs painted by Pei Qing while silently praising the school leaders. It's to his mother human. I am your homeroom teacher for the next 3 years. Pei Qing painted a smile on her face that made her feel close. Of course, we may not have been together for 3 years, and many people will graduate early. If you are favored by any faction organization, you can also graduate early. As awakened members of our botanical family, the future employment prospects are very promising. The classmates remained expressionless about this. Yes. You're right. Apart from them, there are no other awakened individuals in the system willing to become gardeners. Pei Qing's words are not really deceiving. The employment prospects for those who awaken to the plant system are indeed good. But it just doesn't have much future. Having worked in a position for decades, one may not earn as much as those battle-type awakeners who go out of town to sweep. Our main courses are still about various plants of the blue star and the cultivation of the force. Pei Qing noticed the student's current lethargy and didn't say much further. She herself is a plant awakener and has experienced this process. This group of students will gradually recover their mentality and emotions as they get used to it later on. Her gaze swept over the faces of the crowd one by one, and finally fell on a rather handsome student. This student's gaze is completely different from the other students. Those eyes were extremely lively, filled with the vitality that a teenager should have. Pei Qing's eyes immediately lit up as she painted. Is this the kind of gaze that plant awakeners should have? Don't be arrogant or discouraged. What's your name? Pei Qinghua asked the handsome student. Su Chen, who was looking at her thighs, blushed slightly. I secretly thought it was bad. Look at the leg being discovered. Su Chen. He announced his name in a low voice. Pei Qinghua found Su Chen's information from the information in her hand, with a stronger smile on her face. What Su Chen awakened was only an E.level talent. However, there was no disappointment or desolation visible on his face. On the contrary, they are full of fighting spirit. This creates a very sharp contrast between Su Chen and other students. Pei Qinghua immediately became interested in this student named Su Chen. Okay, from now on you will be the monitor of Class 9. Pei Qinghua immediately appointed Su Chen as the class monitor. This can also be considered as a sign of my favor for him. I hope the light in his eyes will not disappear in the future. Ah! Su Chen almost dropped her chin on the ground. How could you become a class monitor just by looking at your own legs? Come on, Su Chen. Pei Qing waved her hand towards Su Chen. Please come up and collect the beginner supplies and send them to everyone. Su Chen touched her neck with some helplessness and slowly walked forward to distribute the beginner supplies. Each awakened one has support supplies from the school to receive. After Su Chen handed out the things, she also opened the backpack she had been given. Novice Level 1. Spike Vine Seed *10. Novice Level 1. Carnivorous Flower Seeds *10. Beginner Level 2. Iron Tree Mushroom Seed *5. Low-Level Source Crystal *10. Su Chen flipped through her backpack casually, her face neither sad nor happy. What other good items do beginner supplies want to open up? Anyway, I can enhance the bloodline of plants myself. It doesn't matter if the low point is low. P.S. New book upload, flowers and evaluation ticket support are required. Welcome to leave a message in the comment area, and ensure the update of awesome. 004, continuously upgrading, the 7th level spike for beginners. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Dormitory. Su Chen took out the seed she had just received today from her backpack. These plant seeds have more evolutionary potential than the 9 and 9 cacti. Su Chen recalled the knowledge taught by the teacher while placing the seeds on the table. Spiny vines with strangulation ability and fast growth speed can fully mature in just 3 days. However, its vitality is not long-lasting, and it can only survive for a few months at most. The growth rate of cannibal flowers is slower, it takes 3 weeks to fully mature. Although it can devour designated targets, the attack speed is relatively slow, and it takes a lot of time to digest after devouring the target. Iron tree mushrooms can release toxic gas to attack enemies and grow rapidly, forming a large group as they grow. What Su Chen needs to do now is to cultivate these 3 plants, which can be considered as homework after class. He individually picked out one of the 3 piles of seeds. Let's give it a try from the spike vine first. I don't know what the effect will be after it advances. Su Chen murmured to herself and planted the thorny vines in an empty flower pot. He placed his hand above the flower pot and closed his eyes. All things grow. Su Chen possesses dual talents in the botanical system. Although the growth of all things is just an auxiliary type of ripening talent, it is very useful at this time. Su Chen's right hand emitted a faint green light. The prickly vine seeds in the empty flower pot were influenced by green light and began to grow wildly. The growth time of thorny vines was originally very short. Now being accelerated by Su Chen's talent, his growth condition is almost visible to the naked eye. A emerald green vine quickly extended from the flower pot and grew longer. It didn't stop until it grew to over 1 meter. The surface of the emerald vine is covered with many sharp and dense thorns, constantly wriggling like a flower snake. The first level thorny vine for beginners only has 1 vine, and its length is only 2 meters. The combat effectiveness can be said to be negligible. It may be a bit difficult for awakened plants to rely on it to protect their safety. Su Chen withdrew her arm and her face turned slightly pale. Whether it is the growth of all things or the leap of life, the use requires the consumption of the force. Plant. Spiny vine. Bloodline. Beginner level 1. Growth. Maturity period. Status. Good. Ability. Entanglement, to entangle the target enemy and block their actions. Special ability. None. Su Chen looked at the rapidly maturing thorny vines and shook her head helplessly. It seems that the force in his body is not enough to ripen all plants. Not to mention letting their bloodline evolve. The first level thorny vine for beginners is indeed a bit weak. Su Chen glanced at the information on the sharp vine, his face neither sad nor happy. This is also where the awakening of the botanical lineage is inferior to other lineages. The strength of plants that can be cultivated is too weak to match. Those strong plant seeds are also very rare. Fortunately, you can continuously enhance the bloodline of these plants through your life leap talent. Let's try the water on you first. Su Chen looked at the sharp vines wriggling in front of her and said with a fiery expression in her eyes. He took out the 10 low-level source crystals from his backpack and picked one up, holding it in his palm. Yuan Jing is a hard currency of blue star and can be used as currency. And it also plays an important role in restoring the force to awakened beings. Su Chen's current internal force is severely insufficient, and the only way to enhance the bloodline of the spike vine is by absorbing the power from the source crystal. Su Chen held Yuan Jing in his left hand, while his right hand aimed his palm at the thorny vine. Life leap forward. He once again used his second talent. A sparkling green light erupted from his hand and heart. This green light contains abundant vitality. After absorbing the green energy, the prickly vine's body, which had already stopped growing, grew rapidly again. Suddenly, another vine emerged from the flower pot and surged at a speed visible to the naked eye. In just a few seconds, 2 vines grew to over 3 meters. Plant. Spiny vine. Bloodline. Beginner level 2. Growth. Maturity period. Status. Good. Ability. Entanglement, to entangle the target enemy and block their actions. Special ability. None. After the thorny vine stopped growing, the source crystal in Su Chen's hand also turned into a pile of white fragments. Su Chen wiped the sweat off her forehead and glanced at the thorny vines in front of her with satisfaction. The bloodline has been elevated to another level. He glanced at Yuan Jing beside him and suddenly had a bold idea in his mind. Su Chen quickly consumed all the source crystals in his hand. These source crystals were all used by him to enhance the bloodline of Spike Vine. The thorny vine, which was originally a beginner's first level, has now elevated its bloodline to beginner's 7th level. There are 8 vines, dancing like long snakes in the dormitory. Its current size is vastly different from before, almost filling up all the dormitories. Plant. Spiny vine. Bloodline. Novice level 7. Growth. Maturity period. Status. Good. Ability. Entanglement, to entangle the target enemy and block their actions. Hanging, to use vines to strangle the target. Special ability. None. Su Chen's eyes were shining brightly, and he didn't feel any pain for those 10 source crystals. As long as I have enough source crystals, I can continuously enhance the bloodline of these plants. Su Chen clenched his fists tightly. Not to mention the extraordinary bloodline, it is a plant that can be cultivated at the level of a king or a hegemon. Su Chen couldn't help but think of some information she had seen before. Among the 100,000 mountains of the Great Qin Empire, there once appeared a Moyun vine with thousands of vines. It can easily destroy a small mountain range. After learning the news, a king-level powerhouse wanted to take it out of the mountain, but almost died at the hands of Moyun Teng. The awakened plant species are not weak, they just don't have strong enough plants. And on my own, I can perfectly solve this problem. Looking at the sharp vine in front of her, Su Chen's eyes lit up. After reaching the advanced bloodline, the spike vine can possess a special ability. Plant armor. At that time, it can cover the awakened person's body, making it easy to carry and providing protection. Information about the prickly vine flashed through Su Chen's mind. I need source crystals, I need a lot of source crystals. As long as you elevate the spike vine to a higher level bloodline, you will also have the power to protect yourself in the future. Su Chen thought about it and quickly packed up and walked out of the dormitory. There are several methods for universities to obtain source crystals. One is the monthly allowance issued by the university, with 10 low-level source crystals per person per month. This source crystal obviously cannot meet Su Chen's needs. To elevate the spike vine to a higher bloodline, one must prepare at least 100 low-level source crystals. The second is to do tasks. The academic task hall will release various tasks, including any department. This is also a way for universities to train students. After completing the task, you can receive rich source crystals and occasionally receive some quite special rewards. The third way is to test and pass levels. There are many levels within the school, and once you pass them, you can also obtain the source crystal. However, in order to pass the level, the awakener needs to have a certain level of combat ability. With Su Chen's current strength, let's just forget it. Unless the spike vine reaches advanced bloodline and is easy to carry, it is difficult for it to pass those experiences. After leaving the dormitory area, Su Chen walked straight towards the task hall of the university. He plans to take on several tasks that can be taken on by awakened plant species first, and earn some source crystals before proceeding. More than 10 minutes later, Su Chen walked into the task hall of the university. There are still many students in the hall, from various departments and grades, searching for suitable tasks on the task panel. Su Chen came to a task selection machine and entered her name and student ID. "Hello dear Su Chen, we have automatically matched you with easy-to-complete tasks based on your talent and strength." After the sound system was activated, a few scattered tasks appeared in Su Chen's eyes. "It's quite user-friendly." Su Chen frowned and flipped through the task. "But there are too few tasks that are suitable for oneself, only 5. Su Chen looked at the synopsis of these 5 tasks and finally clicked on one of them. P.S. New book upload, flowers and evaluation ticket support are required. Welcome to leave a message in the comment area, and ensure the update of awesome. 005, complete the task, the armor of the thorny vine. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Task type: Plant series. Task level: F. Task description: Restore the damage of the advanced 3rd level plant. Blue flower. Click to view details. Task reward: Low-level source crystal *100. 50 low-level source crystals. This is the highest reward among the 5 tasks. As long as you complete this task, you can immediately achieve half of your goal. Without hesitation, Su Chen clicked on the task description details. This advanced 3rd order blue flower was at a critical moment of advancement, but it suffered serious injuries and gradually withered. The task publisher hopes to have awakeners from the plant system to restore the damage of the blue flower. Su Chen's face was somewhat puzzled. The value of this task is a bit unequal. A mature blue flower is only worth 40 to 50 yuan crystals on the market. With the source crystal for this release task, you can definitely buy a new one. However, what does this have to do with me, Su? I just need to complete the task, okay? Although his talent is not therapeutic, he has a way to cure this blue flower. Please select real name /anonymous to claim the task. If you choose to claim anonymously, please complete the task according to the task rules and do not intentionally damage the task items. Otherwise, anonymity will be cancelled and you will be punished by the university. Many systems within the university are very humane, including task collection. It can be claimed under real name or anonymously. Of course, this anonymity is only for most people. The senior leaders of the academic institutions and departments are definitely able to track it down. Su Chen operated on the task selection machine and ultimately chose to anonymously claim it. Received task: please go to room 508 in the task hall. Spit out a key below the task selector. Su Chen took the key and walked straight towards the interior of the mission hall. He took the elevator up to the 5th floor and went straight to room 508. This is the place to store mission items. Su Chen inserted the key and slowly turned it. With a click, the door opened. The room was empty, with a blooming blue flower placed in the center. But the flowers and leaves looked a bit withered, and some of the roots and stems even turned black. The humidity and temperature in the entire room are well controlled, and there is also simulated sunlight falling on the top. Blue flowers, auxiliary plants, can help awakened individuals quickly restore the force, while also influencing enemies through mental influence. Su Chen arrived in front of the blue flower, with its relevant information flashing through her mind. The condition of this blue flower is very poor, even the root system has been damaged. No wonder everyone else didn't complete this task. Even with healing skills, it is difficult to cure the injury of this blue flower. You're lucky enough to have met me, Su Chen said with a faint smile. The blue flowers seemed to be able to understand Su Chen's words, and they slightly opened up. Su Chen is not surprised by this. The intelligence level of plants is much lower than that of exotic animals, but that doesn't mean they don't. Plants with advanced ancestry already have the ability to barely understand human language. If it is a plant of higher bloodline, such as king level or hegemon level, it can even communicate with humans, and its intelligence is no less than that of humans. Su Chen sat down beside the blue flower and said, "Wait for me for a while." Su Chen lay beside the blue flower for a long time. He only stretched lazily until the sun was about to set. The force within oneself has almost been restored, it should be enough to help blue flower advance. If you want to heal this blue flower, you need to have strong healing talents and skills. Either it can only help its bloodline advance and unleash strong vitality within it. According to the task details, this blue flower is only a little short of advancing. Although the force in Su Chen's body is relatively rare, pushing it is still possible. Su Chen placed his hand on the body of the blue flower and used his talent to jump to life. A strong green light burst out in the room. The time for green light to appear is extremely short, fleeting. This was also deliberately controlled by Su Chen. He doesn't want to be drained and unconscious again just to complete the task. Although it was just a short moment. But for the blue flowers, this green light is like a person in a long drought encountering a sweet rain. Those green lights have promoted the evolution of its internal life level. The blue flower, which had originally stayed at the 3rd level of advanced, suddenly advanced to the 4th level of advanced. After advancing, suddenly, a strong vitality emerged from the body of the blue flower. The foundation that was originally completely damaged has been nourished and repaired. Although many of its rhizomes and flowers are still in a withered state, recovery is only a matter of time. "Okay, I'm leaving," Su Chen said weakly, and soon he touched the flowers of the blue flowers before leaving the room. While leaving the room, Su Chen submitted the task. Not long after he left, a uniformed staff member entered room 508. He came to the side of blue flower for testing. Soon, the staff member showed a surprised expression. Although the injury of blue flower doesn't seem to have changed much, the fundamental problem has been solved. The rest are minor injuries that can be repaired with any healing skill. And this blue flower has even been elevated to advanced level 4. The staff showed a surprised expression. It is almost impossible to achieve bloodline advancement even when critically injured or dying. Which botanical department's teacher took on the task? Not so bad, right? Even if the teachers in the botanical department do poorly, they wouldn't come to take on such a task. They only have 50 source crystals. Confirmed task completion, rewards will be issued. The staff took out the instruments and operated them for a while. Your task reward has been received. Please go to any collection point and claim the reward with this information. Su Chen glanced at the message on her phone and couldn't help but show a surprised expression. Get it done, finish work. He chose a nearby collection point and received 100 low-level source crystals. Returning to the dormitory, as soon as I opened the door, I saw the sharp vines wriggling inside the room. If someone opens the door and sees this scene, they might be scared to death. We will soon reach the advanced bloodline. Su Chen's eyes were excited. The thorny vines do take up some space. Su Chen grabbed the Yuan Jing in his hand and began to crazily elevate the bloodline of the Spike Ting King. Novice level 7. Novice level 9. Intermediate level 1. Intermediate level 3. The consumption rate of Yuan Jing is much higher than Su Chen expected. At the beginning, a single source crystal can increase the bloodline of the spike vine. At the end, even if it's just a small level increase, it will require multiple times the number of source crystals. The 100 low-level source crystals that Su Chen just received gradually turned into piles of white powder. When the last source in his palm crystallized into powder, the bloodline level of spike vine has finally been elevated from intermediate level 9 to advanced level 1. Great bloodline upgrade. Plant. Spiny vine. Bloodline. Advanced level 1. Growth. Maturity period. Status. Good. Ability. Entanglement, to entangle the target enemy and block their actions. Hanging, to use vines to strangle the target. Toxins, to paralyze the enemy using the toxins in the spikes. Healing, greatly improves recovery. Special ability. Plant armor, can cover the awakened person's body, providing them with covert protection, and can also restore their normal state at any time. There is no space left in this single-person dormitory. Stuffed tightly by thorny vines. If it weren't for Spike Vine consciously leaving a place for Su Chen, I reckon he'll have to be squeezed alive by these vines into meat patties. The thorny vine, which has been elevated to a higher level, has already gained initial consciousness and is no longer an ordinary plant without any sense or wisdom. Spike Vine, come on. Su Chen's eyes lit up as she let the thorny vines cover her body. The thorny vines began to burrow into the crevices of Su Chen's clothes, and his once massive body quickly shrank. Not long after, the huge plant in the dormitory disappeared. Su Chen looked at her wrist, and under his skin were green threads swimming. This is the armor form of the thorny vine. The armor form is not only easy to carry, but also provides protection for him at any time. With the thorny vine pearl jade in front, Su Chen planned to mention the bloodlines of the other two plant seeds in his hand. In the future, it's better to try to find plants with higher bloodline levels for improvement, otherwise the speed will be too slow. Su Chen thought to herself. His smile remained on his face as he excitedly scrutinized his wrist. Advanced Level 1 Spike Vine. With it, one must have the power to protect oneself. However, the strength of the spike vine still needs to be tested at an opportunity. You can go and experience it tomorrow. P.S. New book upload, flowers and evaluation ticket support are required. Welcome to leave a message in the comment area, and ensure the update of awesome. 006, Trial Area, The Terror of Thorny Vines. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The next morning, Su Chen first went to the botanical department for classes. The school arranges courses for students every morning, and the afternoon is free time. Compared to the previous school, it is much more humane. Su Chen has been thinking about the things she will experience later all morning, and has no intention of listening to the class. Class teacher Pei Qing seems to be in a good mood, with a smile on her face all along. After the morning class ended, Su Chen immediately rushed towards the trial area. The trial area covers almost 1/3 of the entire school area. Countless small spaces have been divided within this area. Awakened individuals from any department can enter it for trials and earn varying points through their experience and performance. This can be considered as honing students' practical skills. If you can make it to the top of the points table, there are also decent rewards. However, those students who can make it to the top of the points table won't even care about this reward. Because they can advance to the top few, it is enough to prove how strong their strength is and how high their potential is. Various forces, foundations, and organizations will throw olive branches at them. The prices recorded in those contracts are astronomical figures that ordinary students dare not even imagine. The rewards on the points table are simply insignificant. Su Chen didn't think so deeply. He came to test for only two purposes. One is to test the strength of the advanced bloodline spike vine, the second is to earn point source crystals by the way. What he urgently needs now is Yuan Jing. As long as there are enough source crystals, you can cultivate plants with high bloodline yourself. The entrance to the trial area is guarded by a teacher. Which trial area are you going to? The teacher asked expressionlessly. There are many separate spaces in the trial area, each representing a different trial. According to the difficulty level of danger, there are 3 types of trials. Primary trials, intermediate trials, and advanced trials. Before coming, Su Chen had already chosen the trial site she wanted to go to. Intermediate Trial Zone, Huangsha Plain. The teacher frowned as he looked at Su Chen's message. Are you a new student? It's still a bit dangerous to enter the intermediate trial area with your current strength. Have you considered it? Su Chen nodded vigorously. He originally intended to go directly to the advanced trial area. After all, Spike Vine already has the strength of the advanced first level. But after all, this is also my first practical experience, so it's better to be safe. The teacher saw that Su Chen persisted, so there wasn't much to say. Just gave Su Chen a brand. Go ahead. Su Chen walked into the door behind the teacher holding the sign. As he passed through the door, a force of space emerged and scanned the iron card in his palm. Next second, Su Chen stood on a vast plain. Ha! Su Chen breathed a sigh of relief. These spatial elements are the means of awakeners, truly mysterious. I must try my best to get a space ring in the future. This makes it much more convenient to carry other plants. Ow! A roar of a strange beast suddenly rang out on the calm grassland. Immediately, a dark and fierce demon wolf appeared in Su Chen's sight. Drool kept dripping from that big mouth. The dark green eyes of the demon wolf stared fixedly at Su Chen. After the appearance of this demon wolf, a second and third demon wolves quickly appeared. These magic wolves are the most common exotic beasts in the wild. According to different growth states, strength ranges from intermediate level 1 to intermediate level 5. Skilled in launching group attacks on enemies and targeting weaknesses. Extremely fast speed. The information of the demon wolf flashed quickly in Su Chen's mind. Watching the demon wolf surrounding and constantly approaching her, Su Chen tried to calm down as much as possible. This is his first practical combat. But before Su Chen could calm down, the demon wolf suddenly launched an attack. One of the demon wolves spread its limbs and rushed over like lightning. The sound of bared teeth made Su Chen instinctively feel scared. Spike vines. Su Chen waved his hand and restored the spike vine from its armor form to normal. A green plant that is 50 meters tall and has 40 vines suddenly rises from the ground. These vines vary in thickness, with the central ones being as thick as normal adult thighs, and the slender ones around them also being the size of arms. Hiss! A small vine with sharp spikes pierced out like a sharp sword. That vine actually pierced through the entire head of the demon wolf. The green vines were immediately stained with red and white things. The sudden appearance of sharp vines made the demon wolf pack feel instinctive fear. They turned back without saying a word. But the thorny vines do not give them a chance to escape at all. The dozens of vines, 50 meters long, swiftly entwined towards the enchanting wolf. A demon wolf was accidentally entangled by 2 vines. 2 vines quickly intertwine and entangle, like tightened steel cables. The demon wolf entwined by vines suddenly burst out of its body. Some vines directly wrapped around the hind legs of the demon wolf and threw them forcefully towards the sky. Pa! After the demon wolf fell, even his brain was thrown out. Watching the battle scenes between the spike vine and the magic wolf, Su Chen's chin almost fell to the ground. Is the advanced first-level thorny vine so powerful? A plant can easily kill more than 10 demon wolves. Su Chen's breathing slowly became heavy and rapid, and his face also had a hint of excitement and redness. Wait until you elevate the bloodline of the spike vine to a higher level. Isn't it a large army that can be fought against by one person? Su Chen suddenly thought of the Moyun vine in the 100,000 mountains. No wonder even the powerful monarchs cannot do anything about it. The combat power of high-blooded plants is actually very strong. It's just that the number of high-blooded plants is too rare and rarely appears. That's why people believe that the awakening of the plant system is very weak. In less than a minute, all the demon wolves on the plain were killed by the thorny vines. The scene was very bloody. Su Chen not only felt no discomfort, but also became increasingly excited. Strong. Su Chen clenched his fists tightly. He relied on the thorny vines to pass the advanced trial without any problem. A mechanical electronic sound is ringing at this moment. Killed this time. 12 intermediate first-level magic wolves, 15 intermediate third-level magic wolves, and 7 intermediate fourth-level magic wolves. Total kill time. 57 seconds. Earn points. Basic points 75 plus record reward points 100 is equal to 175. Congratulations on breaking the historical total time record immediately. A transparent ranking table appeared in front of Su Chen. This is the record ranking of Huangshahara. Su Chen glanced at the time chart. Before me, I was a student named Wang Zhan who set the first time record. This student from the martial arts department killed all the magic wolves in just 1 minute and 6 seconds. That's really impressive. Su Chen silently praised in her heart. Is the real name announcement of the results. The mechanical prompt sounds again. Su Chen thought for a moment, but ultimately decided not to use her real name to avoid causing too much trouble. As a student in the Department of Botany, breaking records one after another will definitely attract the attention of the higher-ups. As long as we investigate, we will definitely expose our own shortcomings. Su Chen didn't want to shock others so quickly. Okay, name hiding has been done. After the mechanical prompt sound comes on, the ranking list changed instantly. The top-ranked Wang Zhan was pushed down and replaced by an anonymous person. No one. Anonymous, Department. Department of Botany. Total time. 57 seconds. Afterwards, Su Chen was teleported out. He looked at the points displayed on his student wristband and his heart moved. The number of points in the school is linked to the low-level source crystals. You can use points to exchange for low-level source crystals or other things. I currently have nearly 200 points in my hand, which can be exchanged for some yuan jing. Then upgrade the bloodline of the other 2 plants in your hand as well. P.S. New book upload, flowers and evaluation ticket support are required. Welcome to leave a message in the comment area, and ensure the update of awesome. 007, The Light of the Plant System. Evolving Iron Tree Mushroom. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Do you know that a senior brother from the botanical department broke the record in Huangsha Plain? Woo-woo, has someone in our botanical department finally made some noise at the school? Most of the time, we are the pendants of other awakened systems. This senior brother should have taken a high-blooded plant with him, otherwise he wouldn't have been able to achieve a time of over 50 seconds. Huangsha Plain is just an intermediate trial area. The next day when Su Chen approached the classroom, his classmates were discussing. Because the school updates the record list of the trial area every day. Some students will update their messages to major groups in a timely manner. The news that the Huangsha Plain record was broken by a student from a certain botanical department quickly spread among various groups. If other systems break records, they probably wouldn't be so sensational. But this is a plant system. Most botanical students will team up with students from other systems for trials. There are few individuals who try alone, let alone break records. Firstly, one must have a plant with high bloodline and strong combat power in hand. But this is precisely the weakness of the plant system. Many students have been staying in universities for several years, and the high-blooded plants they cultivate are not yet mature. Unless it is a student with a mine at home, purchase mature plants directly for force taming. So, the news about the breaking of trial records by students from the Department of Botany has caused quite a stir in various groups. Even if it was done by a senior awakening of the botanical department. But it also brings a glimmer of hope to the younger students in various botanical departments. Look! Our botanical department is also able to make single copies. Pei Qinghua walked briskly into the classroom, with a gentle smile on her face. Classmates, I believe you have also heard the news about Huangshahara, have you? The future of our plant awakeners is still very bright. So don't be discouraged, everyone. Pei Qing painted with a gentle tone towards the crowd. Pei Qing's mood has been very good these days, mainly because she thinks she's lucky. The blue flower that accompanied her since childhood was actually cured by someone. And also successfully promoted to advanced level 4. Pei Qinghua initially placed the blue flowers in the task hall with a try attitude. I didn't expect someone to cure it. Maybe it was the teacher who was in a hurry for money who did it. It's just that Pei Qinghua didn't even inquire about which teacher has such powerful healing skills. And now, another strong student has emerged from the botanical department, bringing confidence to many botanical students. All of these combined have made Pei Qinghua's recent mood quite high. Not just her. Even the students have an extra passion on their faces. Su Chen silently listened to everyone's discussion, but Quan Dang didn't hear. Yes, you guessed it right. It was done by a senior brother with a mine in his family. As soon as the morning class ended, Su Chen quickly returned to the dormitory. Since witnessing the terrifying power of thorny vines, Su Chen has a strong desire and longing for high-blooded plants. The life leap is an incredible skill. You must cultivate a plant with divine bloodline yourself. That kind of bloodline plant, its life level is far different and has already surpassed the scope of plants. What Su Chen is thinking now is to evolve the iron tree mushroom as well. He exchanged his points for 100 yuan crystals yesterday. It should be enough to evolve the iron tree mushroom into an intermediate lineage. Su Chen walked into the dormitory and locked the door behind her back. Although his strength is gradually becoming stronger, he needs to be more cautious. Once one's divine talent is exposed, it will lead to unimaginable and terrifying disasters. A totem-level powerhouse may even take action. So, he must be careful. Su Chen closed the door and took out a petri dish from under the bed. He threw the seeds of the iron tree mushroom into a culture dish. Although the name iron tree mushroom sounds like a defensive plant. But in fact, it is a serious attacking plant. After throwing it out, it can explode and also carry out targeted blasting. It's just a plant version of a high-explosive grenade. A seed can grow a nest of iron tree mushrooms. All things grow. Su Chen held the source crystal in one hand, while the other hand covered the culture dish. He needs to ripen the iron tree mushroom first before elevating its bloodline. The growth time of the iron tree mushroom is already very short. The low-level source crystal in Su Chen's hand did not even consume half of its energy, and it nurtured the iron tree mushroom to its mature stage. The originally empty culture dish was suddenly filled with small red mushrooms. Seeing the beautiful iron tree mushroom, a strange melody inexplicably echoed in Su Chen's mind. Red umbrella, white pole. After finishing together, Su Chen quickly shook her head and began to improve the bloodline of the iron tree mushroom. These 100 source crystals are all prepared for the iron tree mushroom. Life leap forward. A green force was released from Su Chen's palm. Iron tree mushrooms are like hungry wolves, crazily devouring this power. It almost instinctively captures this energy. With continuous absorption, the bloodline level of the iron tree mushroom began to soar wildly. The second-level iron tree mushroom of the beginner quickly rose to the 8th level of the beginner and rushed to the first level of the intermediate level with a rapid posture. It wasn't until all 100 low-level source crystals in Su Chen's hand were used up that the bloodline improvement of the iron tree mushroom stopped. Finally, the bloodline level of iron tree mushroom has remained at intermediate level 5. Su Chen compared and found that the source crystals consumed by the iron tree mushroom to enhance bloodline are much more than those of the spiny vine. It seems that the amount of force required for different plants to enhance their bloodline varies. Su Chen did not continue to ponder this point, but looked at the information of the iron tree mushroom. Plant. Iron tree mushroom. Bloodline. Intermediate level 6. Growth. Maturity period. Status. Good. Ability. Explosion, unleashing all power within the body, causing damage to all enemies within range. Confusion. After being consumed, the consumer will fall into an illusion and find it difficult to extricate themselves. Poison mist, expelling toxins from the body, forming a mist. Special ability. None. There are several abilities of Iron Tree Mushroom. But the most important thing is to deal damage to the enemy through explosive effects. Although it also contains certain toxins, who would be foolish enough to eat Iron Tree Mushrooms? Are you lacking in heart? I don't know how powerful the Iron Tree Mushroom is. Su Chen looked at the densely packed red Iron Tree Mushrooms on the culture dish, and a hint of anticipation emerged. I definitely can't test my power in the dormitory. It's okay to say that the dormitory is completely destroyed, but in case someone is injured, it could cause a big uproar. Trial Zone. Su Chen plans to go to the trial area again to take a break. Last time he had already witnessed the strength of the spike vine. Relying solely on thorny vines, one's own life is at least not in danger in the advanced trial area. Not to mention that he still has Iron Tree Mushrooms in his hand. Su Chen picked up the backpack next to her, then grabbed the Iron Tree Mushroom from the culture dish and stuffed it into the bag. Then he left the dormitory and walked towards the trial area again. With the experience from last time, Su Chen appears to be much more familiar this time. He came to the teacher at the door and reported the trial area he was going to. Advanced Trial Zone, Yufeng Valley. This teacher is clearly not as conscientious as yesterday's teacher. He played with his phone and handed Su Chen an iron card without lifting his head. Su Chen walked to the door with an iron plaque. The peculiar power of space reappeared and transported him to the Yufeng Valley. Next second. The light in front of Su Chen suddenly dimmed. The temperature around quickly decreased, making Su Chen feel goosebumps all over. This valley appears incredibly quiet and gloomy, giving people a very oppressive feeling. Just this kind of horror film-like environment can make many students tremble with fear. Su Chen released the thorny vines. Watching the green vines wandering around her, Su Chen felt a lot of peace of mind. The monster in Yufeng Valley is the swift frog, a type of monster with strong defense but relatively low attack power. This is also the reason why Su Chen chose this place. It can better test the power of the Iron Tree Mushroom. Quack. A swift frog suddenly jumped out of the dark corner, its red eyes fixed on Su Chen. The swift frog has green and black intertwined patterns on its body, and its size is half the height of a person. Under Su Chen's command, Spike Vine did not launch an attack immediately. Looking at the swift frog staring coldly at her, Su Chen pulled out a piece of Iron Tree Mushroom from her backpack with a backhand. "What are you looking at?" Su Chen shouted while throwing out the Iron Tree Mushroom in his hand. P.S. New book upload, flowers and evaluation ticket support are required. Welcome to leave a message in the comment area, and ensure the update of awesome. 008 Force Level Limit, purchase Sleeping Lotus. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The bright red Iron Tree Mushroom traced a beautiful curve in the air. But Su Chen's accuracy is really poor. The Iron Tree Mushroom is clearly a few meters away from the swift frog. But at this moment, the swift frog instinctively extended a crimson long tongue, shooting out like a flying sword, enveloping the Iron Tree Mushroom and retracting it. Goo! The swift frog's throat rolled and swallowed the Iron Tree Mushroom into its stomach. Bang! The next second, the body of this swift frog exploded with a thud. Fragmented limbs splattered out in all directions. Su Chen was stunned by this set of operations. Is the swift frog so brave? I heard that the swift frog can make itself extinct in the wild, and there is indeed a reason for this. Looking at the swift frog bodies hanging on the rocks and branches, Su Chen's face lit up with joy. The power of the Iron Tree Mushroom is much stronger than he imagined. However, this explosion was carried out inside the swift frog, and its power will naturally be amplified. If it were to explode on the surface of the body, at most one blood hole would be created, which should not have such a terrifying effect. After witnessing the powerful power of the iron tree mushroom, Su Chen could no longer resist the impulse in her heart. He began to search extensively for the swift frog in the Yufeng Valley. As long as you see it, you will throw a few iron tree mushrooms over on the spot. Bang 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 bang. In the Yufeng Valley, a continuous burst of explosions suddenly sounded. Su Chen had a lot of fun playing until all the iron tree mushrooms in her backpack were used up before stopping. The thorny vines will kill the remaining swift frogs. Later, Su Chen was teleported out of the Yufeng Valley. This time, Su Chen tested the power of the iron tree mushroom, so he doesn't care about the time it takes. Nevertheless, he still made it to the top 10 on the time chart. Shortly after Su Chen left, the staff in the trial area entered the Yufeng Valley to clean up the scene and re-release the swift frog. After seeing the chaos at the scene, they couldn't help but howl up to the sky. Who did this? The means are too cruel. After tasting the sweetness, Su Chen had a stronger desire for Yuan Jing. He needs more source crystals. This way, I can elevate the plants in my hand to a higher lineage. Su Chen exchanged all the points in his hand for Yuan Jing, intending to further elevate the bloodline of Spike Vine by a few levels. If the bloodline of the Spike Vine can be elevated to the level of excellence, its strength should be increased several times. Inside the dormitory, Su Chen placed her hand above the thorny vine, holding the source crystal in her hand. Life leaped forward. Su Chen used his talent again to elevate the bloodline level of the Spike Vine. But this time, there was an accident. The thorny vine did not absorb the green energy released by Su Chen. The source crystal in Su Chen's hand is intact and has not been consumed by him. Su Chen couldn't help but look puzzled upon the situation. I tried several times, but still got the same result. But if bloodline enhancement is carried out on the iron tree mushroom, it can still take effect. This situation made Su Chen suspicious. Is it because the bloodline of the Spike Vine is already the highest and cannot be further elevated? Or are there other reasons? In order to solve her doubts, Su Chen raised this question during class. He certainly didn't directly say that he couldn't improve his bloodline, but instead changed his approach. Teacher, will the plant lineage that awakened individuals of the plant system can control be limited by the awakened individual's own strength? Pei Qinghua didn't expect Su Chen to ask this, but she patiently answered for him. Of course. Otherwise, why grade us plant awakeners? You are currently at the beginner level and the strongest plants you can handle. Your strength cannot exceed that of the advanced level. Our flora and fauna share the same goal, and it is impossible to control plants that surpass our own level too high. Upon hearing Pei Qing's explanation of the painting, Su Chen suddenly realized. Sure enough. The Spike Vine cannot continue to upgrade, not because of its talent or itself, but because of itself. Su Chen thought it was normal. If I could really upgrade infinitely, my own cheat would be too big. As long as he has sufficient source crystals, he can cultivate super powerful plants that surpass totems and even immortal levels. But unfortunately, if you want to elevate the Spike Vine to an excellent bloodline, then your level must be raised to at least intermediate level 5 or above. There's still no shortcut to take, Su Chen said helplessly in her heart. Awakened individuals can only improve their level through solid meditation. By continuously absorbing external forces, increase the force contained within the body. Su Chen has been focusing solely on improving the level of plants these days, but her own progress has fallen behind. Others have all advanced to beginner level 5 or 6, and he is still spinning in beginner level 2. But upgrading the force level is not very difficult. Many plants have the function of helping awakened beings enhance the force. Su Chen thought to herself. It is often the plants that limit the awakening of the plant system, rather than the awakeners themselves. Many awakened plant species have reached extraordinary levels of their own strength, but the plants they can control are still awakened levels. But for oneself, this problem does not exist. After class, Su Chen went to the exchange hall of the school and came to a self-exchange machine. He clicked into the column of plant seeds. The price of plant seeds is much lower than that of mature plants. Because purchasing seeds requires a long cultivation process, which requires a lot of effort. Su Chen's gaze kept wandering on the list, searching for what she needed. Blue flower seed, intermediate level 1, exchange price. Low level source crystal *20. 1586 in stock. Su Chen saw the message of the blue flower. Blue flowers have the effect of helping awakened beings enhance the force, but the effect is not very strong. Even if you elevate the blue flower to a higher level bloodline, the effect will not be very explosive. Heart trace grass seed, low level first order, exchange price. Low level source crystal *5. 785 in stock. Mandala flower seed, intermediate level 3, exchange price. Low level source crystal *50. 556 in stock. Su Chen's gaze kept moving upstream of the screen, and finally stopped on a plant seed. Sleep language lotus seeds, advanced first level, exchange price. Low level source crystal *100. 78 in stock. Sleeping lotus. The mature sleeping lotus has almost no combat ability. But it has the effect of accelerating awakening meditation. The price of mature sleeping lotus exceeds 5,000 yuan per crystal, making it an auxiliary plant that many low-level awakeners will purchase. And its seed price is only 100 low-level source crystals. Redeem. Without hesitation, Su Chen bought this sleeping lotus seed and filled in the dormitory number on the shipping address. When Su Chen returned to the dormitory, there was already an iron box at the door. This delivery speed is even faster than the downwind. Su Chen picked up the iron box and walked into the room, feeling emotional. He carefully opened the box, inside which lay the seeds of the sleeping lotus. The seed looks like a melon seed, but it is pink. Su Chen took the special culture dish she had purchased on the way and put the seeds into the dish. Then he picked up the few remaining source crystals and gave birth to the seeds. All things grow. Under Su Chen's urging, the seeds of sleeping lotus took root and sprouted at a visible speed to the naked eye. Not long ago, a brilliant pink lotus bloomed in a special culture dish. Su Chen glanced behind her. Purchase seeds and culture dishes, along with the consumption of spawning. He only has 3 yuan crystals left in his hand. However, it's worth it. Su Chen gently poked the petals of the sleeping lotus with her hand and grinned. Subsequently, Su Chen sat cross-legged next to sleeping lotus and began to meditate. The energy between heaven and earth flows into his body through his pores and is converted into the force used by the awakened. At this moment, sleeping lotus released a unique aura, helping Su Chen absorb this energy. The auxiliary effect of sleeping lotus on plant awakeners is much stronger than that of awakeners in other systems. Su Chen sat there all night. When he opened his eyes again, a hint of surprise quickly appeared on his face. In just one night, I upgraded from beginner level 2 to beginner level 4. This speed is several times faster than normal meditation. P.S. New book upload, flowers and evaluation ticket support are required. Welcome to leave a message in the comment area, and ensure the update of awesome. 009, continuously refreshing records, huge source crystals. You are listening at novelfull.audio. At this speed, it won't be long before I can improve to intermediate level. Su Chen clenched his fist in excitement. After being promoted to intermediate level, he is able to elevate the bloodline of the spike vine once again. During this period, I not only need to improve my own force level, but also earn a lot of source crystals, Su Chen thought to herself. Evolution requires a large number of source crystals. Especially when the bloodline level of plants increases. Even upgrading to a small level may require a large amount of source crystals. Is there any way to quickly earn source crystals? Su Chen frowned and pondered deeply. You can obtain source crystals by doing tasks and trials. But the highest reward for tasks distributed by the school is only a few hundred yuan crystals. This source crystal obviously cannot meet one's own needs. If we can refresh the time records of those extremely difficult trials, the university will reward a large number of points. But currently, I only have one advanced and first-order thorny vine. It's impossible to break records just by relying on it. I heard that the most difficult experience is that all the exotic beasts inside are of advanced 9th level strength. Whether or not one can protect oneself when entering is a problem, let alone flashing records. How about starting from the intermediate trial area? Su Chen gritted her teeth and made up her mind. Although he only wants to grow slowly, reality doesn't give him a chance. Without Yuanjing, even divine-level talents are a pile of shit. Besides, it's impossible for oneself to live a lifetime, sooner or later they will show up. Brush. Intermediate Trial Zone, Fenglei Mountain. The exotic beasts in the Fenglei Mountain trial area are thunder beasts ranging from intermediate level 3 to intermediate level 8. The appearance of this exotic beast is somewhat like that of a rhinoceros, with a pitch-black unicorn on its head. Thundering Beast can use its unicorn to launch thunderous attacks on target enemies. The thunder element is a highly aggressive element. Even the attack power of thunder element awakeners is often much stronger than that of other element awakeners. At this moment, Su Chen is engaging in battle with a group of thundering beasts with his pointed vines. Hiss, the thundering beast's unicorn flickered, releasing a brilliant silver thunder snake. The thorny vine immediately waved its branches to disperse the incoming thunder. A burnt black mark can be seen immediately on the vine. However, the thorny vine didn't care. These injuries are not a big deal for it, and with its healing ability, it can recover quickly. After dispersing the thunder, the vine did not retract, but continued to whip towards the thundering beast. The slender vines immediately wrapped around the body of the thundering beast and strangled it with force. The body of the thundering beast suddenly emitted clear sounds of broken bones. In front of the advanced first-level thorny vines, these thundering beasts are indeed not enough to see. Stuff it in. Su Chen was also not idle and took out a piece of iron tree mushroom from his bag. The end of a vine grabbed the iron tree mushroom and quickly attacked the thundering beast. The method of using thorny vines is very rough. Directly use vines to forcefully stuff the iron tree mushroom into the mouth of the thundering beast. Bang! The head of the thundering beast and the tail of the vine were blown to pieces together. Su Chen beside her saw her eyelids twitching wildly. This is too grassy. The prickly vine, however, paid no attention to the injury of its own vine and continued to attack other thundering beasts. Not long after, a virtual screen unfolded before Su Chen's eyes. No one. Anonymous. Department. Botanical Department. Time. 3 minutes and 12 seconds, NO2. Lei Qingming. Department. Element Department, time. 3 16 seconds. Dot. Su Chen broke the record for Fenglei Mountain with a slight advantage of 4 seconds. Received 100 basic clearance points and an additional 300 points reward for refreshing records. 400 points is equivalent to 400 low-level source crystals. Then Su Chen silently left Fenglei Mountain. This is already his 5th intermediate trial site to break records. Su Chen used the afternoon time to refresh the trial record and obtain the source crystal, and at night he used the Sleeping Lotus for meditation. The Sleeping Lotus has a significant auxiliary effect on low-level awakeners, especially on plant-based awakeners. In just 5 days, Su Chen's force level reached level 9 for beginners. Only one step away from the intermediate level. And relying on these refreshing records of a large number of reward points. He has already accumulated 2,000 yuan crystals in his hand. Completely enough to elevate the thorn vine from its advanced lineage to its superior lineage. Our plant department has produced a battle leader. I have continuously refreshed several records of intermediate training places. Su Chen started to break records aggressively in order to earn money from Yuanjing, which also caught the attention of other students. The most exciting thing is the freshmen of the botanical department. They were originally immersed in the sadness of being useless. But at this moment, Su Chen gave them a strong shot. Who says that plant awakeners can only serve as assistants to awakeners of other systems? Not only can we single brush, but we can also break records. Students from various botanical departments couldn't help but be moved to tears. At least, this has shown them a glimmer of hope. Awakeners from other departments do not take this seriously. Laugh to death, if there were a high-blooded plant, of course it could break so many records. This person has broken records for intermediate trials, so he should have a high-level plant. That's it. Other departments are not interested in this at all. After all, this kind of thing has happened before. An awakened member of a certain botanical department, relying on high-blooded plants purchased at home, shines brightly in the academy. What is the result? There are still many people behind. Even if you can buy plants that are outstanding and awaken your bloodline, can you buy those that are extraordinary or king level? Relying on external objects is impossible for a long time. Su Chen didn't pay attention to the external discussions about this matter. He has an idea now, to raise the level of the spike vine. After so many days of meditation, his own force level has finally reached intermediate level 1. It is completely possible to elevate the bloodline of the spike vine to around level 6 or 7. Life leap forward. In order to elevate the bloodline of the prickly vine, Su Chen spent a total of 1,200 source crystals. This terrifying expenditure left him speechless. Every subsequent bloodline advancement consumes almost exponentially more source crystals. The 2,000 source crystals in one's own budget are simply not enough. It seems that at least 3,000 source crystals are needed. Where did you go to earn so many source crystals? If he wants to gather so many source crystals, he needs to break the record of more than 10 intermediate trial sites. Because the trials he had chosen before were all highly rewarded. The remaining rewards are relatively small, even if the record is refreshed, it may only reward 100 or 200 points. Hey! Su Chen has a worried expression on her face. Originally, even the awakened ones with divine talents would have troubles. In class. Pei Qinghua did not leave after class, but announced a message to everyone. Our university is going to organize a field trial soon, and our botanical department has a spot. Who wants to go? The classroom suddenly became quiet and elegant, with no one daring to speak. The school regularly holds several field trials every year and sends students to the wilderness outside the city to hunt and kill exotic animals. That's a real life and death battle. It's completely different from the difficulty level in the trial ground. Every year, some students die in the wilderness. But the school still hasn't stopped this activity. Because the school has always believed that the purpose of education is to provide awakened individuals with combat capabilities and the ability to defend the country for the Great Qin, rather than flowers in a greenhouse. Compared to other departments, students in the Department of Botany have a higher probability of losing their lives. Sitting in the corner, Su Chen's eyes suddenly lit up upon hearing this. Isn't this your own opportunity? Kill the exotic beasts in the trial field, and all their corpses belong to the academy. But when killing exotic beasts in the wilderness, all the materials belong to the killer. If you can hunt one or two high-level exotic beasts yourself, you can sell them at a high price just for the materials. Isn't it enough to upgrade the source crystal of Spike Vine? Pei Qing didn't say anything when she saw that no one spoke up. She also knows the dangers of outdoor training. As a homeroom teacher, Pei Qinghua also doesn't want to see her students die in the mouth of exotic beasts. Let's wait for the arrangements from the university. Me. Just as Pei Qinghua was about to leave, Su Chen suddenly raised his hand. P.S. New book upload, flowers and evaluation ticket support are required. Welcome to leave a message in the comment area, and ensure the update of awesome. 010, enter the wilderness area, attack and counter kill. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Su Chen stood up with a calm expression and said in a deep voice, I'm willing to go. Pei Qinghua looked at Su Chen and volunteered, with a surprised expression on her face. Are you going? She really didn't expect that someone would take the initiative to volunteer. Su Chen, come with me. The others have finished class. Pei Qinghua didn't say much in the classroom and took Su Chen back to the office. Su Chen, you should know the danger of outdoor training. With your current strength, going there is still very dangerous. Although accompanied by a teacher, they are unable to cover everything. Have you really considered it? Pei Qinghua explained to Su Chen in a solemn tone. Su Chen nodded vigorously. I've figured it out. How could Su Chen miss out on the opportunity to earn yuanjing after all? Pei Qinghua saw Su Chen's resolute face and couldn't help but feel a little moved. This student gave her a different feeling from the beginning. Is this what students in the botanical department should look like? Although wilderness training can be dangerous, being accompanied by a teacher means being careful won't cause any major problems. Pei Qing painted silently in her heart. Okay, I'll report your name later. Su Chen nodded lightly and was about to leave the office. Wait a minute. Pei Qinghua suddenly stopped Su Chen. What's wrong, Teacher Pei? Su Chen said with a puzzled expression on his face. Pei Qinghua hesitated for a few seconds before taking out a ring from a nearby cabinet. I'll lend you this plant ring first. This time going to the wilderness for training, bring more plants and be prepared. Wait until you come back from your training, then give it back to me. Pei Qing solemnly handed the ring in her hand to Su Chen. This is the space ring she replaced, it's still idle anyway. It's better to hand it over to Su Chen for temporary use. Su Chen suddenly showed a surprised expression. Space ring. This is a self-defense essential item for plant awakeners. It's just that the price is quite expensive. Even the smallest ring in terms of space area would require tens of thousands of yuan crystals. Pei Qinghua unexpectedly lent herself such a valuable item, which exceeded Su Chen's expectations. Don't feel embarrassed, safety is the most important. Pei Qing painted a serious face and reminded Su Chen Dao. Su Chen nodded forcefully and then left the office with the space ring in hand. He only checked the size of this ring after returning to the dormitory. The internal space is about 20 square meters large and can carry many plants. Originally, for this experience, Su Chen only planned to bring prickly vines and some iron tree mushrooms. He couldn't bring any other plants with him. There is no sleeping lotus, and the enhancement of the force also needs to be temporarily put aside. But with this space ring, everything will be easily resolved. Sleeping lotus and other plants can all be brought with you. I also need to be prepared and cultivate more plants. Su Chen's eyes flickered. The danger of outdoor training is much higher than that of academic trials. Although I went for materials from high-level exotic beasts, if I were careless, I could easily die in the hands of those beasts. Su Chen quickly went to the exchange hall, ready to use the remaining yuan jing in her hand to purchase some equipment. You need to buy some plant seeds and protective clothing. Su Chen purchased a batch of quickly maturing plant seeds, including iron tree mushrooms, sword bamboo, and so on. At the same time, I also put on a set of protective clothing for myself. Just this non-mainstream protective suit cost him 700 yuan of crystal. However, for the sake of one's own safety, no matter how expensive the price is, one can accept it. After receiving the seeds, Su Chen immediately gave birth to these seeds. The space ring was quickly filled with various plants. Fortunately, thorny vines can attach themselves in the form of plant armor. Otherwise, just it can fill this space ring. 3 days after Pei Qinghua submitted the quota, Su Chen received a gathering notice. There are a total of 300 students who went to the wilderness for training this time. Most of them are senior students who are about to graduate. Only a small portion are low-level freshmen. When assigning teams, Su Chen insisted on choosing to act alone. Freshmen usually team up with others for higher safety. But Su Chen doesn't want to team up with others. This makes it less convenient for him to hunt down exotic beasts. With the transportation coordination of the school, they quickly left the school and headed all the way towards the suburbs outside Xianyang City. Su Chen and the others had a bumpy day in the car before reaching their destination. 300 people got off and gathered, following the arrangements of the teachers. A teacher with a stern expression stood at the forefront and said seriously, "Your field training area for this time is G7 area, and you cannot leave the area range. Once approaching the boundary of the area, the student's wristband will sound an alarm and must be promptly returned. If you encounter a life-threatening situation that cannot be solved, immediately seek help through a wristband." Although this is a wilderness area, the trainees are still students. The teachers had already swept through this area and killed all the powerful beasts. Although the remaining exotic beasts are also very dangerous, the difficulty of danger will not be too high. After the teacher finished teaching, the students began to enter this wilderness area in batches. Su Chen slowly entered the G7 area. Watching the teacher disappear behind her, Su Chen's heart couldn't help but become nervous. After all, this is his first time truly entering the wilderness alone. It is inevitable that there will be some nervousness and worry. Su Chen took a few deep breaths to keep herself calm. What is he afraid of carrying so many plants and advanced 6th level thorny vines? Even if you encounter an unbeatable monster, it's always okay to save your life and seek help, right? Phew, just when Su Chen thought so. A pitch-black figure suddenly emerged from the darkness. The shadow has a small size, but its speed is very fast. As the sound sounded, it almost came to Su Chen's face. The sharp claws emitted a cold light and grabbed down Su Chen's neck. Su Chen was suddenly scared out of a cold sweat all over her body. He touched his neck and only found some cold and viscous liquid. That is the juice of the prickly vine. At the critical moment just now, it was the thorny vines that sheltered Su Chen's body. The attack on the monster was obviously also very suspicious. How could I not defeat this human with such precise assassination? The thorny vine regained its armor form, and a terrifying plant suddenly appeared on the earth. More than 10 vines suddenly emerged towards the attacking monster. The strange beast dodged and moved horizontally among the vines, attempting to escape through the cracks. But the thorny vine doesn't give any survival for the exotic beasts. Dozens of vines have completely blocked the escape route of this monster. Those vines suddenly tightened. The exotic beasts contained within the vines were instantly killed by this tremendous strangulation force. After the monster died, Su Chen walked forward with lingering fear and kicked the monster's body with his foot. Confirming the death of the monster, Su Chen picked it up and took out a monster catalog from the space ring. Monster Mist Hidden Cat, Intermediate Level 3, skilled in assassination and hiding. At this moment, Su Chen realized what was attacking him. The fur of a foggy cat is the most valuable thing all over its body. A intact foggy cat fur can sell for over 1,000 yuan crystals. Su Chen looked at the body of the fog-hidden cat in her hand with fiery eyes. The fear just now vanished instantly. Just as I entered the wilderness, I harvested 1,000 source crystals. Isn't this much faster than earning source crystals by brushing records? Let's continue. After tasting the sweetness, Su Chen began to search for other exotic beasts in the wilderness with spiky vines. P.S. New book upload, flowers and evaluation ticket support are required. Welcome to leave a message in the comment area, and ensure the update of awesome.